My mother-in-law demands a share in our apartment. I have a bad situation right now. My husband and I have been together for 6 years. After the wedding we live with his mother in a 3-room apartment. When I moved to live with them, the apartment was in poor condition, that is, without repair. With the donated wedding money, we made repairs in the room in which we were going to live. Later, when I went on maternity leave for the new year, I received good bonuses, annual bonuses, plus maternity ones. With this money, another room was repaired for the baby, plus the bathroom was repaired. In principle, we never really swore with my mother-in-law. She initially called us to live with her, so that we would not spend money on food, but put off buying our apartment. After leaving the decree, my husband and I began to save for their own housing. By deferring his salary in full and living on mine, we saved about $2,500,000. Now I got pregnant with the second. We decided to exchange money. My mother-in-law is going to a 1-bedroom apartment in her own entrance with excellent repair. We found a 3-bedroom apartment for repair, but in a different area. From the exchange of the apartment, she gives us $1,500,000, plus our $2,500,000, and plus we take a mortgage. Everyone seems to be happy, but now the mother-in-law said that she wants a share in our apartment equal to the amount of money she gives us from the exchange. I am categorically against it. My husband also has an older brother, who, if anything, will also be an heir after my mother and will claim a share in our apartment. My brother has his own housing left over from my grandmother. In principle, they had such an agreement for a long time to my grandmother's apartment to my older brother. There is a 2-bedroom apartment in a good place and my husband has an apartment after mom. Now it turns out that if anything happens, the brothers will share both mom's Agnieszka and a share in our apartment with my husband. Maybe I'm wrong. Initially, the apartment is a mother-in-law, but it's a shame to me. I also invested in her apartment for repairs, paid for the communal apartment with my husband, completely changed the set in the kitchen. We also did repairs in her room, that is, we did not live there for thanks. We invested decently. The mother-in-law needed repairs but there was no money, but she wanted repairs and we agreed initially that we would live with her and save for our housing. There was even her version of the development of events. We dig up and buy her a 1-piece somewhere nearby, and she leaves the 3-piece to us. She said that she didn't need 3 rubles alone, and even long before me, she was negotiating with her sons about how they would deal with their property. No one is sending her to the hole now. She will have a nice 1-bedroom with a room of 24 and 2 windows, where her husband plans to make a partition for a small bedroom. The rest of the repairs in the apartment are very decent. We exchange with a minimum balance for ourselves. Well, if you look at it, the housing is also not hers. My ex-husband received a family from himself, his wife and his sons, but he left for another woman a long time ago, leaving everything to his wife and children. In fact, there is a share of my son, my husband, in this apartment. My parents did not exchange anything for us. They are also divorced, but my father bought us a new car 5 years ago. Of course not a foreign car, but a little more than $500,000. That is, for 25 years he took and gave me $500,000 and I did not run to reissue the car to my mother so as not to share it with my husband later. My mother also helped us put in a new fence for the cottage, and the cottage was decorated for my mother-in-law. She added a bathhouse for the construction, again at her mother-in-law's cottage. And the whole situation is very insulting to me and I do not know how to do the right thing.